Hello and welcome, and thank you for coming for our monthly governance call. This is the 25th edition, so kind of an anniversary. So that's a little bit more than 2 years ago, we started our first governance call, and a lot of things have happened since then. So speaking of things that have happened, let's take a look at some of the governance activities that has happened since our last call. Two proposals have passed. That's CP83, that was for updating the protocol fees, and it's actually amending previously passed proposal, CP28, that also introduced protocol fees, but that was a very simple version since we have introduced new pool types, so we needed to adjust to that. So that's what that proposal does. And then there's another proposal, CP84, which was for discontinuing the crowd loan rewards, the CFG crowd loan rewards that also passed. So that means that their users are giving 60 days, so 2 months notice to claim their crowd loan rewards before they are discontinued. So that means that the claiming deadline will be the 5th of April, 2024. So that's what has happened. Right now, there are 4 proposals ongoing, all in the request for comment stage. And there is one for the recovery of lost CFG tokens and another one for the roadmap proposal. Both are going to be on the agenda, so I'm not going to go deeper into those. And then there are 2 other proposals ongoing that are both related. One is for the Centrifuge OpenGov migration, and then there is a proposal for the OpenGov Technical Committee mandate proposal. So those 2 are both related to our OpenGov. So that's a short update on the governance. So let's jump straight into the agenda for today. And the first point on the agenda is our roadmap proposal that is made by the Protocol Engineering Group. It's the first of its kind. So we're all excited to hear a little bit more about that. So whenever you're ready, Jeroen, please take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. Let me see if I can share a few slides. Can everyone see this, just to confirm?
Yes, we see.
Perfect. Yeah, I think it's exciting to be talking about this and seeing how yeah, we can have a discussion about the roadmap for the DAO or the roadmap for the product within the DAO. So yeah, this is something that in the end is a combination of the CPs that were written and discussed and voted on in the last months and longer. And then in the end, having some discussions within the PEG, so that's basically members from KF and CNF and Embryo and other DAO participants around like what we should be prioritizing. And it is really like a first discussion. We definitely want to see how if we can or this is the goal here is that this is an initial proposal that we can discuss and vote on, and then update it in the next few months as we kind of go from here. So yeah, from there I'll dive straight in. So I think everybody knows about liquidity pools already. We are live on 4 chains now, which is very exciting, but it doesn't mean the work is entirely done. Um, what the PhD is proposing is to grow this even more and keep focusing on the work on this. And that means a few things. So one is to continue to grow liquidity pools by launching it on more chains. There's really like also a BD discussion around like what we want to focus on, but like having the technical resources for doing that is important. Two is we want to keep improving the security of liquidity pools. There's a lot of work that goes into that, but in the end, it is a critical part of Centrifuge is that we have this reputation of being conservative and being safe in terms of like security of the technical development. I want to maintain that, and by doing so, yeah, continue to grow TVL without losing any, to put it bluntly. Yeah, and then we want to improve the UX for prime users. What that means is today. The like experience with interfacing or investing through liquidity pools is okay, but it could be improved. There's some steps that can be kind of combined, which could make it easier for a DAO like Aave or Frax to actually deploy capital into a centrifuge pool like Anemoy. So yeah, this is kind of a few different work items within like the bigger item of scaling and rolling out liquidity pools that I think should be a top priority. Next to that is protocol fees. We've discussed this at length in the past. The good thing is this is actually almost finished already in terms of development. Our KF is going to propose this very soon in the next runtime upgrade. So yeah, it's really exciting that is coming soon. From there, actually, I'll skip this. There we go. From there, some other CPs that have been voted on include transaction fees and linked pools. So in terms of transaction fees, this is kind of increasing the fees for transactions like originating an asset and investing in a pool and so on, launching pools on different chains. The good thing is that this is a relatively small feature from what the PEG has determined so far. So we're proposing to prioritize this pretty soon because of the kind of the trade-off between the amount of work and the output from it is quite good. Linked pools is a very different story. It's, I think, a really compelling feature to add to the Centrifuge protocol, but it's also a really big project. We've been working on technical specification for this within KF and have a pretty good idea of how it needs to be built. But it's definitely a large project that is going to take a little while to develop, and we'll also go through multiple iterations, kind of similar to liquidity pools. So yeah, definitely want to prioritize it because of the value it brings, but proposing to put it a lot after than transaction fees mainly because of the trade-off between like time it takes and value it gives. And then finally, there's one other CP that is pool types, which is basically this proposal around having open, closed, and portfolio pools. Portfolio pools is basically like that is very linked to linked pools. It's ultimately the technical feature that enables it. Closed pools, though, is kind of different in that it changes the governance process for launching a pool, and so that also requires some technical work. I don't. So far, the research we've done is it's not a huge feature, but we're still pretty early and so far haven't prioritized this because there's not been that many kind of new pools going through the governance process recently. And then finally, a slightly longer term feature on the kind of liquidity pool side is supporting Snowbridge. So for anyone familiar with the Polkadot ecosystem, this is the trustless lifetime-based bridge between Polkadot and Ethereum. I think this is a really exciting like method, like bridge for us to eventually use as part of liquidity pools. But it's also still super early. It hasn't launched yet, and even if it does launch, I think it should have some time to be kind of in production before we use it for our use case. So that's why we put it a little bit lower on the priority list. But I do think it's something that in the long term, like using like either moving from XStar to Snowbridge or potentially using both. That's kind of an open discussion. It's super interesting, and yeah. So that's about it. The proposal is live on the forum. After the governance call, the next step would be creating an off-chain governance vote through Open Square, if I'm not mistaken. I see Orhan saying yes. So, yeah, I guess if there are any questions or comments, feel free to leave them here, or otherwise we can discuss it on the forum.
Yeah, I have the question. In the current posted proposal, what is the time frame of development? 6, 9, 12 months?
That's always really hard to say. I mean, the estimating like transaction fees is much easier than linked pools, for example, right? In the end, developing kind of protocol level features like this is like no one has done it before, right? And unlike Web2, where it's all very similar, this is really new technology and new use cases. Transaction fees is probably a few weeks of work. Linked pools is anywhere between 2 and 6 months in terms of just work on its own, and then it comes after some other work. So it's really hard to put it. On a very high level, I hope we ship all of this within this year, but exactly when is really hard to say.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Any other questions to Jeroen for the roadmap proposal? So yeah, this is a great way to see what the technical direction is the coming months. And as Johan said, it is indeed the next step to start an open square snapshot. And we believe it's going to be up latest tomorrow. We'll announce it on the forum, and it will be batched together with another proposal, the proposal for the OpenGov Technical Committee. So there are going to be two open square snapshots up for a vote tomorrow. So two different proposals, but they will start at the same time. So when people are in there already, they can vote on both of them. So please keep that in mind. We will write an announcement and a notification on the forum and across our other channels. So thank you, Jeroen, for coming and talking about this. Appreciate that. So from one proposal that is the first of its kind to another one, and this is the proposal for recovering lost CFG tokens. So a very important proposal to have up for discussion, and we would really appreciate as much input as possible for everyone, at least here in this call on this subject. And we have the author of the proposal with us here. I can see, Stefan, you are already there. So would you mind just talking about where this comes from, this proposal, and provide some extra context if possible compared to what's on the forum post?
Yes, yeah, thanks a lot for having me. I hope there's not too much background noise here. I'm at a rework, and unfortunately, there's no office available.
Sounds
maybe yeah, okay, good. As background, so I'm Stefan George. I'm co-founder of Gnosis, and I've been in the space for a very long time. I know the founding team of Centrifuge also for a very long time. I think I met Philip the first time, even before Centrifuge even existed. And here we're just iterating over ideas of how to, what to do effectively in Web3. I think I met Philip because first time in Toronto, in AppCon 2018. And unfortunately, this proposal has a background that I lost access to a personal wallet, which I created in 2022. Yes, AppCon 2018. Good times. Effectively in 2022, in April 2022, I acquired CFG tokens from the founding team of Centrifuge, specifically Philip and Max. Not sure if they were able to join this call, but they also confirmed this on the forum. I talked to Philip and the others, what would be a good wallet to store those funds, and generally Parity Signer was recommended at the time, which I think was also probably the best choice. So I used Parity Signer to store those tokens on a phone, on an older phone that I had at the time. And unfortunately, this phone broke. It's not usable anymore. And also the way how data was stored on this phone made it impossible to recover any data on this phone. And obviously, then I took the opportunity to try to restore access to the specific wallet. And it turned out that the backup that I did of this wallet was not sufficient to restore access. To this date, I'm a bit uncertain of how this actually happened. It's also is novel for me. Obviously, I have created many wallets personally and have many backups, and I never run into an issue where I could not restore access. And to this date, I'm not sure why the backup was not sufficient. And but it's very clear at this point that access cannot be restored. I had some theories on how this could happen, but I think the fact in the end is just simply it's not accessible anymore. And and at this point there is, in my view, and also other people's view, no other option than actually trying to go through governance in order to convince the community of CFG token holders that, first of all, I'm the owner of this wallet, which is can be confirmed by the founding team, because the wallet that the assets are held in is clearly referenced also in the OTC transaction, and no other transaction has been done. And and to reissue, burn those tokens and reissue them in a different wallet, which is owned by me and where there is a sufficient backup in place. So this is kind of high level, the proposal. And yeah, of course, it's a very novel situation for me personally. I think also for Centrifuge. And I also understand that this is a bit of a controversial proposal because effectively, yeah, you're burning tokens in one wallet and you reissue it in another wallet. Important to say is that those tokens will not be simply reissued, but also the locking period will be extended by 1 year. So these tokens were sold to me with a specific vesting and locking schedule. And yeah, I proposed that this period should be prolonged. I'm also obviously very bullish on Centrifuge. I also invested into the last round of Centrifuge, so I'm have long-term interest in what Centrifuge does, and I believe in the mission of Centrifuge since the first day. But I also understand it is a controversial proposal because we effectively changed the state of the blockchain, which is not simply done through generic transactions, but through a governance vote that effectively burns and reissues tokens. So yeah, I hope, of course, that the TFG token holders will vote for yes. I also understand if you vote for no, and my personal commitment to supporting Centrifuge will not be influenced by that. I think we obviously have already also existing relationship between Centrifuge and Gnosis. Like probably everyone who's joining this governance call more frequently saw that there recently was a GIP Gnosis inclusion proposal to onboard Gnosis DAO to Centrifuge Prime. This was successfully accepted. I personally was not the initiator of this proposal on the Gnosis side. It was done by Kapatki independently, simply because they saw this as a great opportunity. But of course, I'm happily supporting it, as I'm also very convinced about the specific use case and the specific investment. Yeah, I think there's not much more I can say about this, but I am very open, of course, to answer any questions. But this is kind of high level background of how we came here. And yeah, I appreciate any feedback. There was already some discussion on the forum, which I also appreciated. We had not exactly the same cases in Gnosis, but we had also cases where funds were effectively lost through hacks in this case. And in case of those hacks, actually Gnosis DAO community also decided effectively to reimburse funds, and really clear about the Agave hack and the money market on Gnosis chain, because the people that were investing at the time in those markets were also early adopters and contributors to the ecosystem. But again, I think no matter like how a decision is made and what the outcome is, I will support Centrifuge going forward. That should not be considered also my position in Gnosis. I would like to separate from this because these are funds that I personally hold. These are not Gnosis funds. So this should also not be considered. Yeah, but I'm open to answer any questions about the specific proposal, of course.
Thank you, Stefan, for clarifying and adding a little bit more context. So a couple of people have already commented on the forum post already, and the two co-founders also confirmed that was your wallet in the comments there. But what are people's thoughts on this? Because this is something that happens a lot in crypto, and this is going to happen probably a lot, unfortunately, in the future. So what is people's opinion about this, both this particular proposal and these kinds of proposals in general? I think that's important we bring that up and hear what the sentiment is. Brian, please go ahead.
So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you, Stefan, for coming and actually sharing this. We use Gnosis Safe as a multi-sig for Teddy DAO, our own charity project. Love the product. You guys have built some amazing stuff. I also want to give a shout out to Yvonne for showing up on AAG on Monday to actually openly talk about this with more broadly the Polkadot ecosystem. I think you did a fantastic job kind of laying all of this out. I'm just going to reiterate much of what I said already on the forum with my own comments. I have no qualms with this. I will personally be voting yes. I think it makes perfect sense with all the due diligence that's been put forward, verifying that this all happened, even the counterparty for the OTC deal and everything else. The one thing that I think that we all probably need to be mindful of, because we already saw a similar situation when Chaos DAO had put forth a proposal to use the forced transfer, part of the extrinsic in the Polkadot runtime code, to return funds from a wallet. I did not know that this extrinsic even existed. I'm not the most technical person. I'm just director of protocol relations, so more of a comms guy and a liaison. But I do find that this is probably still going to be the thorniest part of it all, is that the fact that this even exists at all, that we have the ability to just wipe out funds from a wallet and then go ahead. I mean, granted, we're doing all this all through governance, so it's not like this is being decided unilaterally or it's even being decided by a small group in a council or anything like that. So I think those are comforting facts, but I just do wonder how much this is going to become an issue. You know, I understand that slippery slope is obviously a logical fallacy, but I do wonder if this is going to open the door for other people coming up and saying, hey, you know, I lost my CFG tokens, or fill it in the blank, whatever that token may be. Can you guys do something to burn it from this wallet and then, you know, give it to another wallet address instead? And again, I'm just throwing this out here as points for discussion. But otherwise, I am a fan of, you know, what you've built, you know, what Centrifuge is building. I think the whole community is rallying around this and clearly wants to vote and give you your tokens back. I also think, too, that the additional year that you're adding on to the vesting is an important point as well. So now you have an extra, you know, that to me just demonstrates your commitment, your willingness to go above and beyond, and, you know, your long-term relationship with the Centrifuge team and protocol and the DAO. So I am in favor of this. I hope others are as well. I think that seems to be the general sentiment, just reading through the comments on the forum right now. But I just wanted to at least share those thoughts. Thanks.
Thanks for your shots, for your shots, not for your shots, but thanks for sharing your thoughts, Ryan, as always. And yeah, anyone else want to comment on this or have experience from other protocols where this happens? And
I would add something.
yeah, go ahead, Cassidy.
We
I don't hear you, Cassidy. Does anyone else hear Cassidy?
No.
You don't seem to be unmuted, Cassidy, but we don't hear you.
we put into this as a DAO, I think, is really nice to
Back.
see. Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, well, we lost probably around like 20 seconds of your speech. So if you would like to take it from the beginning in case you said
Oh
something.
no. I was just saying, I guess to summarize, I think it's a good thing that we're going through this as a DAO, and I think seeing it happen in the best way possible. So if it did happen again, we have a really good example of how to do it the right way, how to do diligence in this process. And so I think it's, to me, setting a really good precedent of, if we do end up seeing this again, how can we deal with it? And so I think it's, yeah, a good experience to go through as a DAO.
Thank you, Cassidy. Anyone else want to comment on the proposal? Any thoughts, sharing? There's a comment from Devin saying that, yeah, I can read it out loud, but he said, yeah, it's a feature, not a bug, to be able to rescue someone's funds if they lose them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, go ahead. Say it yourself if you want.
I'm saying for widespread adoption, especially from people in like more traditional finance areas, it might be nice to say like, hey, if you're sending 100 million in and you have a typo or you paste the wrong address or something, you won't be totally out of luck, right? I understand why like totally unupgradable chains like Ethereum and Bitcoin, how it's really cool that can't be reversed and that has its own advantages, right? But I think the inherent upgradability of Centrifuge chain is actually could be a plus for more traditional audiences coming in. Also, Stefan, I'm sorry I doubted your legitimacy of you and the people vouching for you on the forum, but I had to do it. Don't trust, verify, as they say.
Well said, Devin. Better safe than sorry. So, yeah. So this proposal is ongoing. It's still in the request for comment stage. And I believe it's mentioned that it will be open for at least 2 weeks from the day it was created. And then it will move on to an on-chain vote afterwards. So there's still time to comment on the proposal on the forum if anyone wants to add something. And then after that, it's in the hand of the token holders that are going to vote on this proposal. So thank you, Stefan, for coming and talking about your proposal, and thank you everyone for commenting on it. So if nothing else, going once, going twice, then we will move on to our next point on the agenda, which is the Tangem Wallet presentation. So that's a new hardware wallet, or I'm not sure if it's new. I'm actually going to leave it to Nikita to talk about that. So if you are here, I can see you're here, Nikita. Will you please tell us a little bit about that?
Well, thank you for having me first, and let me congratulate for starters, let me congratulate the community on the anniversary governance call and on all your achievements and your approach to introducing improvements and regulating how the community and the network develops. So what I want to share with you today is like a couple of features of a product we are working on, and like we would be eager to integrate the network to to be part of your ecosystem as well. It's called Tangem Wallet. It's a card-shaped hardware self-custodial wallet that probably also, in a way, solves the issue that we discussed previously about lost tokens and coins. I will explain how it can be done on an individual basis, of course. So the company has been on the market since 2017. I'm sure our colleague from Gnosis knows it. We have worked with them. We used to provide our hardware to other companies. Like Tangem has always been a community-driven project. We partnered with different blockchains like Cardano, Ripple, and so on and so forth. And we used to create custom white label solutions for them. So probably let me demonstrate. Like these were monocurrency nodes with a chip here that signs transactions. It's a secure element, EL6+ certified. And we then accumulated enough know-how and expertise to create our own product, which we introduced in 2021. It's called Tangem Wallet. It's a multi-currency solution. As of now, we've sold more than 1 million cards in total. And our goal has always been to create a solution that would open the doors to the blockchain world to a broader audience, namely to like every human being, because we lower entry barriers to entry by introducing like the simplest wallet that doesn't compromise security, and which can be set up in less than 3 minutes. We've conducted tests with absolute strangers, people new to crypto, and like an old lady from Germany, you can see it on our YouTube channel, managed to set it up in like 3.5 minutes. It's a card-shaped device, as I said. It doesn't require any batteries or cables. You sign transactions by tapping the card against your phone. As I said, it's a non-custodial solution. So when you receive the wallet and you set it up, the chip generates the key when you tap the card against your phone. Then returning to the issue of lost tokens, we have our own original approach to backup. The seed phrase has been the standard of the industry for a very long time, but we offer an alternative, which is more convenient if you also would like to reach to to a broader audience. And we do it by copying the key, which is generated on the card, to the second or like the third card. Tangem is supplied as a set of 2 or 3 cards. The copying occurs with the help of Diffie-Hellman protocol. I'm sure like a lot of you know what it means, but like for those who don't, it's a cryptographic protocol that allows 2 parties to exchange information in public, meaning that like a third person attack can occur. A man-in-the-middle attack, it's also called. And when you're set up, you get access to more than 35 networks, thousands of coins and tokens in total. You can send, receive, hold, interact with dApps. Staking is going to be integrated soon. You can swap in the app. And there are a lot of other features. Now, the application we use is available as an open source on GitHub, which means like also, apart from transparency, an added feature is that if Tangem ceases to exist, which we won't because like things have been going well, you will always be ready to go to GitHub yourself, download the SDK file, and use it even without Tangem's involvement. We don't do anything ourselves, like apart from the integration and development. We rely on public nodes to maintain the infrastructure. So practically, you will be safe even if we are not there for you. And the firmware of the card is not open source because we sign an NDA with the chip producer, but it has been audited not only by Kudelski Security, but also by a company Riskier recently. No loopholes or backdoors were found. So as I said, it's EL6 Plus certified, which is one of the highest level of security on the market. The card is very durable, so you won't be like, in contrast to other solutions there on the market, you don't have to worry about washing it in the washing machine. We even threw it in fire for several seconds, boiled it in water. Yeah, it was still functional. And it's just a chip with an antenna. You don't need any extra equipment. Your funds, like your private key and your access code that you enter to log into the app, is protected against any kind of invasive or non-invasive attack, including FlipperZero, any other scanners, electromagnetic pulse or electrostatic discharge, and so on. You can see a comparison, like how we fare as far as like the competition is concerned. And the reason why Ivan has asked me to present this to you is because, well, when considering which network to add, the primary focus of our management team and developers is the interest on the part of the community. And there is no one else to measure that interest better than you, the leaders of the community. And yeah, therefore, yeah, it's up to you whether we move forward or not. And here I would like to give the floor to anyone who has questions.
Yeah, I have a question. Is it possible to import your seed phrase or use a new seed phrase generated by Tangem Wallet for all the games?
Yeah, when you set up your wallet, the application offers you a choice. By default, you will do that with Tangem's original backup method, meaning that your key is cloned to the second and third card, and you store them in different places. And even if you lose one, you always have a backup to rely on. But at the same time, we understand that there are traditions and there are people who like to stick to habitual methods of recovery. We offer seed generation or importing the seed phrase as an option. However, we do not advise our users to do so because, statistically, seed, like improper storage, improper handling of the seed phrase, scamming, phishing, social engineering, like more than 90% of all loss of crypto can be attributed to those cases. But we still offer a choice. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. And another question, what are the functions that you can do with tokens? This only on deposit, hold, and sending, or maybe interacting with application? I am personally looking for delegation of tokens, if this is possible.
Well, usually the first stage of the integration, we always try to measure interest on the part of our partners and the community. And generally, the first stage is secure storage, send, and receive. If you are listed on like any provider that we use for swaps, then swapping will be available as well. But I can also anticipate, like, if there is an interest, interaction with dApps through Wallet Connect, and any other functions that are important for you. Like, you can indicate the interest, and we will see if it's implementable.
Thank you.
There are two other questions, one from the chat and one from someone who raised his hand, Jeff. But I can see that Guillermo wrote in the chat, how do you guys compare to Arculus?
Well, there is no such thing as ideal wallet. Yeah, wallets are usually ideal for. Yeah, and in this case, I can guarantee, and I use Tangem myself on all my funds, like with the exception of some on MetaMask are stored on Tangem, and I think it's best for beginners and best for like interacting with blockchain on the go. If like other solutions, they do not offer such functionality, such advantages. Of course, they offer they have their own positive features, but at the same time, we like if you as a DAO want to expand further in terms of the outreach of your network and the services you provide, then you need to lower barriers to entry. And this is how this is where we come in, because for people, it's important that they have positive experience when they are onboarded. And we provide that positive experience, and at the same time lift the level of of security of people's funds, because usually people do not choose between different kinds of wallets. Instead, the choice is primarily between an exchange or holding the coins on an exchange and self-custody. So probably Tangem's greatest contribution is that it facilitates the move from custodial storage solution to non-custodial, self-custodial solutions, and we do that for people who like have no experience in crypto whatsoever.
Did that answer your question, Guillermo?
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Jeff, you've been patiently waiting with your hand up like a good student in a class, so please go ahead.
Thank you, Ohan. Thank you. Okay, so thank you, Nikita. I would like to personally share my experience. I think Tangem, like I have the Tangem Wallet, and it's really cool. It looks very cool and easy to use. I set up the backup card and also tried the wallet. You guys have some like a special event of swapping without fee, something like that, right? And probably you know me because I'm also founded the AI Web3 Chinese community, and in the new year, we actually bought more than 20 wallets for the community, and everyone tried. We have a tutorial basically in Chinese about using the Tangem wallet. And so my question is about the support of the token. And so I tried that on Tangem support Polkadot. Did you have any plan to support SafeG token in the future, or did you have any kind of idea about it? Thank you.
Can I ask a clarification question? You mean Centrifuge token, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the reason, like we are here. I am here today. And it's open for a discussion. Since Ivan indicated an interest, and he said that like a lot of people are asking for a storage solution, we are always glad to partner and to support by integrating the network to our wallet.
Nice. Thank you. Yeah, I cannot wait for that. I have a SafeG plan to store in the Tangem wallet. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions to Nikita around the wallet? Did you have anything more to add, Nikita, to the presentation?
Well, I guess if there aren't any questions, then my part has been finished. So then it's up to you to decide. I provided one with all the different options. As I said, we need to measure the interest, and yeah, there are great many projects and excellent projects wishing to get integrated. We always need to prioritize because we have limited resources as any other team. And yeah, the more interest we will see, the better. Like it serves as an indication that like self-custody is in demand, and people are ready and eager to store their Centrifuge coins there. So it's like some thumbs up for us. Yeah.
All right. Is there any chance
I could chime?
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Hi, everybody. Sam from Blockcelerate. Quick question is, in the roadmap, there is a greater, I guess, growing emphasis on having more institutional adoption. And I'm curious how you anticipate ultra-high net worth individuals, family offices, institutional investors may appreciate the variety of wallet solutions, what kind of tech specs and features they may expect in helping us deliver on the roadmap for more institutional adoption for Centrifuge.
Well, thank you for the question first. Since we are a relatively new company, we do not have an enterprise branch yet, but we see the interest there, and we hope to develop in that direction. I know that, like, although we don't offer multi-sig right now off the shelf, yeah, but I know like with some technical knowledge, you can build a multi-sig solution for using Tangem, and it works perfectly well. There are several projects that use our technology, projects that are specifically geared to attending the needs of high-end individuals and family offices as well. And we are in negotiations with like further companies right now. Like my colleagues do that on a daily basis. So I expect that there are no obstacles here. The card has a very it has enormous potential because it can sign like it supports different protocols. Yeah, it supports different signatures, and it's up to developers what they can do with that the card. Yeah, so we've been involved in even such interesting projects as anti-counterfeit protection. So New Balance once had a collection with some basketball player, and they wanted to make sure their sneakers are authentic. Those were very expensive sneakers, and we collaborated with them. We provided the technology, and the authenticity of the products was guaranteed. So there are myriads of applications, and it's always a matter of the market conditions, the supply and demand. Yeah.
Great.
For the
Good to hear.
questions, man.
Open to further developments. Thanks a bunch.
All right. Any other questions here for Nikita? I think maybe it would be good to get this on the forum somehow for those who missed this call. Obviously, they can watch the recording, but we can stay in touch and maybe see if we can put something on our governance forum and see if, put something together there as well. But thank you very much for coming, Nikita, and presenting this and answering the community's questions. And we'll see where this goes next.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Youngs, is that a hand for saying something? Then please go ahead. I guess that was just a gesture, but that's all good. I can wave back to you. So anyways, I think we are reaching the end of the call. So if there are no final thoughts, nothing else to add, then I'm guessing we can say thank you for coming, everyone. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for all who presented, for all who commented and discussed. It was a real pleasure, and I'm already looking forward to the one next month, same place, same time. So take care, guys, and see you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.